All right, here we go. So I'm going to talk about Cosmic Skeptic one last time, and then after that I'll leave him alone for a while. I'll probably circle back to him because there's a lot of stuff still in there. Slavery, for instance, but we'll get to that later. I'll leave him alone for a little while after this. But as kind of a throwaway line in the previous video that we've been talking about a lot, the statement is made. The number one rule of skepticism is to doubt everything. And I want to challenge that sentiment in two ways. The first way is that even possible? And then second, is that really the first core tenet of skepticism? Because I think it rests on the first one of that if it's not possible, then of course it's not. It can't, like, you can't have a core basic tenet of something that does not exist, right? So let's begin talking about, first off, that idea that is it really possible to doubt everything? And maybe in theory, I think there's an idea behind it of that, well, I'm just going to doubt everything. But I don't think that anyone does it in practice, especially not in terms of authority. Because if I feel something weird happening, like in my chest or something, I go to the doctor, he says, listen, your arteries are 2/3 blocked. We're going to have to do we're going to have to do some major blood thinners. You're going to have to stop eating salt, fat, sugar. You're going to have to lay off that stuff. You're going to need a lot of eat like leafy greens, some sludge-colored smoothies, and on top of that, we might have to open you up and like roto-rooter those things out. Am I going to doubt that? Maybe. That's the idea of like a second opinion, right? But you know what? Is my instinct, let's say it's even like this is my personal family physician that's saying this. I've gone to this guy a dozen times. He's helped me like bandage up broken bones before, like perfect situation. I don't think anyone does that. They just go to the ER or the urgent care nowadays. But let's say it's that guy. Like he's known me since I was a kid, perhaps even. Am I still going to doubt? Probably not. The underground, or kind of the deeply laden track record, reputation, I'm probably not going to inherently doubt that. I'm just going to take that as like, you know what, this is and plus the fact that my own physical response testifies to the positivity of this statement. You know what, I'm probably just going to like, you know what, even if he's wrong, he's probably more right than he is wrong. And so it's probably good for me to follow his advice in this instance. And at the worst case scenario, I'll just develop a taste for leafy greens, and I'll probably be healthier either way. And right, I'm gonna weigh it, and you know what? I'm probably not going to even go through all that. I'm probably not gonna doubt it. I'm probably not. And well, caveat, right? That's your doctor. That's your dentist. That's your physical trainer, your fitness coach, right? You just trust. The only time that hey, I'm going to doubt this comes up is if what this person is saying to you is inherently or aggressively contrary, hostile towards what you want, think, believe. The only time you're going to doubt if this coach is really telling you the best possible advice for your team to win and for you to succeed is if you don't want to do what he wants you to do. Because I played sports, and for the one team that we had that actually succeeded, we have a trophy and everything, not the fake kind of trophy, a legit, like it's good sized trophy, like a cup trophy. We spent the first 3 months of practices all we did, the only thing we did was run. We would run around the field. We would go down and about, like around, because it was soccer. And so we would meet here, and then another team would meet here. We would be running around their team. They're all doing like ball drills and cone drills and stuff. And we're just running. We did so much running, and the kids would complain, and they would whine, and they'd power walk. And of course, every team's got that one kid that's like jogging backwards and sideways because he wants to show off. But the booby miles of it for Friday Night Lights fans and whatever. But we ran, and we hated it. We didn't want to do it because, of course, we didn't. But then after that, once we had done that a lot, we would start doing the ball drills, the cone drills, the fundamental stuff. We would start doing those things. And as a result, when the other team that was right next to us that had been doing the cone drills and things this whole time, when they're pausing in their practices to get water, to rest, and of course, after you come back from rest, people are complaining even more. They're getting cramped up. They're tired. Like, we were still able to do the stuff that we needed to do because we had conditioned already. Now, we had doubted the effectiveness of this the whole time. Like, we're playing soccer. This isn't track and field. But the coach knew what he was doing, and as a result, we were better off. And so that's kind of a case study, I think. I doubted it the whole time because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to invest there. But at the end of it, turns out I was wrong. My doubt was not a trustworthy compass in that instance. Just because I doubted it doesn't mean that my doubt was reasonable. So, I'm regressing, I guess, a little bit here. So, coming back to the beginning, is it possible? In theory, I mean, you could really open up the medicine bottle. Is this really going to help take my pain away? So forth, right? You could really doubt everything. But I don't think that's really a healthy response to everything. Not necessarily a response to anything, but it's not necessarily a healthy response to everything. And then I don't think it's really possible to live that way in a practical sense, because at some point you just got to go in, right? Your doctor's telling you this, that, or you can't see your own arteries, even if EEG, EKG, MRI, imaging, right? You're still putting faith in that machine's working correctly. The technician knows what he's doing in order to make it work correctly. And that's actually my image. I mean, fallibility, right? This wouldn't be the first time that a medical establishment or a imaging firm somewhere mixed up two people's images, and as a result gave a person the wrong treatment because the doctor was looking at the wrong person's set of images. So I still there's room for doubt no matter what. There's room for doubt, no doubt. There's room for doubt in everything. But if that's what your guiding principle is, just assuming everyone around you is always wrong, deceitful, misleading, maybe even self-deceived, that's not a way to live. You can't live that way. And it also applies to structures. Do I trust that the door is going to open every time that I walk up to it? Well, only on the basis of prior knowledge. Do I trust that the house is not going to collapse on me while I'm sleeping tonight? Only on the basis of prior knowledge, right? Not on the basis of present knowledge. So, I think it's not really possible. And then on the last bit, kind of tying all this stuff together, of that, is it really the number one rule of skepticism to doubt everything? Only in theory. Because the skeptic is only going to doubt those things, as I've kind of elaborated on a little bit already, they're only going to doubt those things that they don't already agree with. They're not going to be prone to doubting things from a person they trust or from a perspective they've already accepted. They're just going to accept it because, of course, they already accept it. If new data comes out that affirms their prior position, they're going to assume that it's authoritative because it's their own position reaffirmed, right? Rather than questioning it, going into who are the researchers, what are their biases, and blah, blah. Like, they're not going to go that deep on it. They're just not going to, because honestly, we have limited amounts of time, we have limited amounts of energy, and we have limited amounts of kind of attention and investment. And so we, as a species, as a set of beings, prioritize that stuff in a way that if it agrees with me, I'm going to let that go, right? I'm not going to question it. If it disagrees, then I will question it. In the same way that I don't question, right? I don't stop for green lights. In fact, often, I don't even stop for yellow lights. I only stop for red lights. And I think that's the way most human beings are. Just based first on observation, and then second, off the idea that when a person throws out that line of skepticism, doubt, whatever, it's only ever in contrary or a contradiction of something that they don't already believe. They never doubt things that they already affirm. So, something to think about. I'd say, in summary of all of this, the only number one rule of skepticism is hypocrisy.